Hey, my name is Tara, and I want to talk to you about body-centered healing and coaching. So, what I do is not exactly easy to just describe, but some of the words and modalities you might recognize: soul journeyings, shamanic journeying, clairvoyance, clairaudience, psychic abilities. One of my clients calls me a witch doctor. These are all elements that I draw from. And have been in place from the age of 4. So the earliest I can remember, this has just been a part of me. I do somato-emotional release and craniosacral therapy and body work, all in person, and then there's many aspects of that you can do at a distance. I'm a Reiki master. I use neurolinguistic programming, principles of guided meditation, ancestral trauma therapies, family constellation work. Gosh, what else? Body talk, hypnotherapy, I'm not a certified hypnotherapist, so I use elements of that, guided meditation, visualization. All these techniques have been part of my professional practice for some period over the last 20 years, and it's just been a lifelong walk. So I'm 42 at this point, and like I say, since I was about 4 years old, these have been the principles that have guided my life, and a lot of what I've come to, what came to me in dreams and visions, and so it's a part of me, and I don't always know how to explain it. I don't always explain it well. So, but the key part of why I label my work a body-centered approach, and what I want you to know about that, is that all of these modalities and techniques and things, some of them you might recognize. The critical factor, what we do together, is that it is your experience in your body that we want to work with. We want to honor, we want to know, and that we base everything from. Within that is your wisdom, all of your wisdom, all your intuition, everything you need to know about where you're at right there in your body and in the body of the earth. So there's an additional element of what I work with, which is nature connection activities, some being very just physical elements of you selecting spaces in nature that you are going to, and we construct a particular way that you interact with those spaces, that allows you to find your dialogue with the natural world. So it's not a preconceived element of what that has to be or should be. It's very much what you find. The more centered, connected you are in your body, right, the more you are dialoguing with these two bodies, the body of the earth and your body. So I say body centered as in being centered in your body and centered in the body of the earth. So what does that look like in a session? Say you come in and so my clients come in from a variety of things, right? Some people coming in for more of what we think of as a coaching type of element, right? I have this thing I want to accomplish in my life, or I'm not sure where I'm going in my life and I'm trying to find that direction. Some people come in from a healing perspective. I have this thing that's been plaguing me, or I have this part that hurts, or I don't know what's going on here, but I feel the need to get at that and understand it better, right? Either way, both of these tangents lead us back to the same central piece, which is you really centering into your body to understand what's going on, and empowering you to make the decisions and choices and whatnot to heal and move forward. Okay, so in a session, you come in and you tell me, I have this general sense of unease, and I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. I have a few ideas, but it's sort of preventing me from doing something in my life. Say, I want to take this job, but I feel like until I've worked through this, I can't do that. So the very first thing we do is locate that in your body. I'm going to ask you, where is that, right? Where do you feel that? And for you, whether by phone or in person, all this work is available, and just as powerful through distance and in-person work. You will find yourself sort of starting to do a bit of a scan, right? And if it's familiar to you, you might go right to it. If this is new to you, it might seem strange. You might have some resistance, and we work with those elements. We start right with where you're at. And so let's say you go into your body and say, it's in my gut. I feel it in my gut. And what does it look like, right? How do you feel? Is it soft or sharp? Is it big or small? Does it have color? You're going to start describing these things, and that starts to give it a very physical presence that we can work with. If you have troubles with this part of it, which a lot of people do, I might look at it from my perspective and say, okay, I'm noticing this. How do you identify with that? What does that mean to you? If you have a more sort of literal logic mind that isn't prone to imagery or physical sensation, it might be a lot of these sort of psychological constructs. And again, we're centering back in. The goal is still to bring you back into your body. So we are going to bring that back in so that you continue to connect more deeply with your body. But that might be through a variety of methods, right? And so whatever your portal into, that's what we're going to get to. Every now and again, what happens is in a session, someone comes in and there's something quite ready to be healed or started with the healing process, but the person, you are not able to access it. In fact, maybe you're just so overwhelmed that what you really need is a deep rest state, being held, having some energy, some Reiki, some elements of coming in and supporting you there. And then what I'm going to do is just dive underneath and do one of those soul journeys, and then just go in and look and see what pieces we need to bring back to the surface for you to look at. And then it's not a matter of what I say, it's a matter of taking those pieces that are offered from that journey so that you can look at them and sift through and sort out what means something to you or not. But the majority of the sessions are pretty consciously oriented, and if we do more of an unconscious soul journey piece, then that might only be part of it, or it could be an entire session. So as we come back into this conscious part, though, say we go back, right? So you've come in, you're identifying, you're describing the sense of unease, and you notice a constriction in the gut, and we're looking at this, and that evolves into a certain sense of anxiety. And so we go in and we look at, I might ask, what purpose is that serving? And while you're answering this and looking at that, I am also assessing from this end, are you congruent with what you're saying, right? In your words, do your words match what the body is actually feeling and the information the body is giving us? And then does your body go into that? There's a state the body goes into that's fairly still when we're in the right place. So there's times we talk around things, right? So maybe this unease, and I'm telling you this whole story in my life was this and this and that and da 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 da, and you know how that feels. Because oftentimes people come to me because what they want is to get out of that, right? We all want that. I go to my healers for the same reason. And so you can feel that getting worked up. And yes, it's a story. It's important because it served to give you some distance, enough distance from what's going on to give you space to breathe and function in your daily life. In our session, though, what we want to do is tease apart those pieces, right? And get into that space that says, this anxiety is this. Fits in this container. It's about this. And we know it. I know it from my end because that stillness just is very present. And we know that's where we need to go. And clients tend to know it, right? As soon as it's hit upon, it's like, oh yeah, okay. I see now that's where we need to go. So this is very much a dialogue, not only between you and your body, but between you and I, right? And there's that we both palpably feel when you're in, quote unquote, the right place. When the actual wisdom we're looking at right now is speaking, right? Not just the sort of circular dialogue that we need to protect ourselves sometimes. And so then we go into that, and then we follow that through all the way, and in each session come to some sense of resolution. So perhaps in this particular instance, what comes up is some ancestral memories and traumas, and a grandmother and a grandfather and one auntie over here show up, and we talk with them, and we resolve what's going on for this very moment and how that's connected to this piece of unease in your life. And you'll feel the shift in your body. You'll feel a sense of resolution. You'll feel tightened tissues that are now soft. You might feel, flowing energy through your body, maybe more waterfall type feeling. It's obviously every session is different, and how that might manifest is different. But the point is, you'll feel a shift, a palpable body shift. It tends to be just sort of a deepening, a peaceful sense, just a stillness that says, yeah, okay, that's the piece, right? Like that's what I needed to know now. And so that's really the goal of each session. Is to get at what is in you, in your body, because that is where, there's no projection, right? We're not looking at what's my ideas of what or who you are, right? This is about where you are and you recognizing for yourself. And so I hold space for that. I hold space and create a safe and sacred space so that you can do that. I give room to hold the pieces of what are there. Sometimes we have so many pieces, we can't hold them all ourselves. We need somebody else to hold those and sort of give us one by one. Like, hey, let's look at this part now. I'll hold these ones. Don't worry about these for the moment. Like, let's just look at this one. Okay, this one's ready to come in now too. This one we finished with. Let's look at this one. So that's part of my job as a practitioner, is to hold those pieces for you. And again, just holding that space and helping you identify into, right, what's most pertinent for this very point in time. So a session will tend to wrap up with some, like I said, some resolution, and then from there you take that and continue processing. And as you're ready, if you know you need a series of sessions, then we schedule a series of sessions. If you just have a sense you need to let that sit for a while, and you let that sit, and then you let me know, or you let your other practitioners know, right? What other modalities you need, what sessions you need. I've had sessions with my healing arts practitioners where I need to go back monthly. I need to go back several times a month. I need to go back 2 years from now. I had one session that brought up so much deep stuff that it took me 2 years to really go back and visit that particular issue in a session. What was happening was it was manifesting through my body and processing in all that time and putting the shifts into place in my life. And so that was really important. So there's no rush to this. I have no preconceived notion of what you need to be or where you are or what's going to happen when you come in. I will tend to look into a session just, in advance of you coming or in advance of being on the phone and get a sense of the state of being. But it's not up to me to decide for you where you are and what that needs to be, and whatever your sense of the creator or creation or universe or whatever that is, however that's being put together, whether you see that as a faded thing or a constantly evolving dynamic thing, right? I don't believe that anybody is the one person who can tell you that, and that can be hard sometimes in sessions. Sometimes we just really want to hear an answer. We want something concrete, and that's not what I don't tell you. This is about you coming to it in yourself. What I do is empower you to find that and feel that and trust and know in that. So that's a big part of our work together. Let's see, what else do we need to cover in this? So one way I go, so what my clients have to say, it's just really positive feedback, right? People like the fact that there's no judgment in this, that it is neutral ground where they can find for themselves what's going on. So they don't tend to feel, they've told me they don't feel like I'm interjecting anything on them, that they have that space to find that out for themselves. That I offer a very intuitive space that I can hold for them, that again empowers them to keep going within that, and lots of good healing that comes out of it. So that's great. And then what I offer is so if you want to find out more, if you want a chance to talk with me and see if I'm the right person for you, because there's just, no matter how much experience, 20 plus years of experience, it's still about whether I'm the right person for you, and you're the only one who can know that. So you might find from watching this that you can decide that. That's how I work. I pick up on the elements I see in someone's website or on their information, and then I'll just know, yeah, I need to see that person now or long term or for a little bit, and then I gravitate towards that. In that case, just book a session with me, and we'll get going and we'll dive in. If you don't know, you're not sure, you just need to find out more, you have questions, you're like, that was an interesting intro, but most of what you said didn't make sense, or it made perfect sense, but I want to find out more, or need to talk to you on the phone, or do a Skype session to just have a better sense, and I need to know that you can take this issue I'm working with, and I want to know a little bit about how you do that or your approach to that, and then by all means, that's why I have this. It's a complimentary consult, done by phone, or we can do it by Skype, and that's exactly what that's for. So just go ahead and schedule that, and that's the best way to ask questions, better than email and all that good stuff, which is all available as well. But I would just say, go ahead if you have questions and you want to kind of look a little deeper, then schedule that 15-minute consult. And yeah, I think that's it for now. That's a good introduction to what a body-centered approach is, and it's amazing, lovely work, and I've been doing this a long time, and it still never fails to astound me just how profound it is and how much information is right there able to be accessed. So anyway, thanks so much, and I hope to get the chance to work with you.